The documented path to a monthly six-figure income within 6 months. No, it's not clickbait. No, I wouldn't believe it either if I was reading or seeing or somebody said that to me. Hey, this is Dale Calvert. In this session, it's going to be somewhat of a brain dump. The first thing I just need to do is to really document a report I wrote about 2 weeks ago called The Game Plan to Six Figures a Month Within 6 Months. This report was written really for experienced, successful team builders. If you want a copy, you can send of the PDF. You can send it to me. Send me an email and request it, because it's never going to be made available for reasons that will become obvious in this podcast. This will never be made available to the public. I sincerely believe the experience myself and many others have had over the past few weeks is really a great example when not only just the 4 stars lining up, as I talk about MLMsuccess.com/4 stars, not just the 4 stars lining up, but the perfect marketing message to the perfect audience. The first thing you should know is what I'm about to share with you in this session is not theory. It is a case study that I believe will be evergreen and I hope will provide valuable insights for you now and for others in the future that may run across this podcast. In 7 weeks, I built a team that was projected to provide $1 million annual income from zero to nothing from zero to $1 million income in 7 weeks. So when I talk about 6 figures a month within 6 months, I really believe by the time you finish listening to this session, you'll know that opportunity exists and can still exist when preparation, skill set development, mindset development. That's what I mean by preparation. Skill set development, mindset set development. When preparation, the right timing, the right work ethic, and the right marketing messages meet the right audience. I hope you get insights from this. Again, I wouldn't believe it either if I was hearing what you just heard, but pay close attention. I think it'll be a paradigm shift that many of you probably need.
Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the #1 mind in network marketing, the MLM Prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small-town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Got a little bit of apprehension and a whole lot of excitement about this particular podcast, but all's good. Kentucky won last night. They won their Friday night game by 40 points. Looked like an NBA team. Appreciate all the condolences after they got beat in that disheartening loss against Duke. They lost by 8 points, but I have a feeling that when March Madness rolls around, those two teams will be meeting again, and definitely looking forward to the rematch. In this session, it's going to be somewhat of a brain dump. The first thing I just needed to do is document a report that I wrote about 2 weeks ago called The Game Plan to Six Figures a Month Within 6 Months. This report was written for really experienced, successful team builders. It will never be published for reasons that we'll talk about later, but you can send us an email if you'd like, and we'll send you a PDF copy because it will never be released to the public. But I wanted it documented, and I wanted it on record. And I'm glad you're here. Without question, this session is for deep thinkers, the deep thinkers in the crowd. This session, more than any other, I'm really dependent on you for your feedback and your emails. I'm expecting it. And I'm really not joking around. I mean, I'm really expecting your response to this session. I need your feedback. So with that, let me get into first just to share with you an audible version, for lack of a better way to say it. I hate to be reading to you, but again, I don't want to get this PDF in the marketplace. I'm not going to put it in the marketplace. And this was the best thing because I feel like the people that listen to this podcast on a consistent basis kind of understand who I am, where I'm coming from, what I'm about. And it could be definitely misconstrued. So, but on the same token, I think it's important to let you guys know where my mind was 2 weeks ago when I wrote this, because it will further explain some of the decisions I'm probably going to be making in 2022 and beyond. So let me start. The title of this report, we'll call it, is 6 Figures a Month Within 6 Months. The first thing that you should know is what I am about to share with you is not theory. It is a case study that I believe will be evergreen, and I hope will provide value, insights, and perceptions for you now and for others in the future. In 7 weeks, I've built a team that is projected to provide me $1 million annual income. Keep in mind, this was written two weeks ago. Back to the report. So when I talk about 6 figures a month within 6 months, I believe by the time you finish this report, you will know that it is possible for you. If you have a mature, positive mindset and work ethic, and you're an experienced marketer, then you can forget about all the skill sets you have at the moment because you don't need them. But without a positive, mature, experienced business mindset, you won't be able to recognize the possibilities I'm going to be sharing with you anyway. In this report, I'm going to reveal to you the simplest team building system I've seen during my 40 years in the entrepreneurial game. The first question you should be asking yourself is, who is this person? Why should I care what he is experiencing? My short response would be just that, experiencing. Experiencing. This is not conjecture or theory. It's happening right now at this moment, at this time and place, in this market. Granted, markets change. Algorithms change. Companies and suppliers make changes. If you're reading this anytime in 2023 or after, I can almost assure you that the plan I'm going to outline will not be working then nearly as well as it is at the time of this writing, which is 10/27/2021. However, it is my hope that it will serve future generations as a case study that can be learned from. Actually, it's my wedding anniversary today. I won't attempt to tell you what a lucky man I am. That would take an entire book. And my goal here is to write a clear, concise report with facts that are undeniable to experienced entrepreneurs and team builders. So my name is Dale Calvert. You can learn more about me than you would ever want to know at dalecalvert.com. I know what it feels like to build a team of 60,000 and make over $3 million in commissions and overrides on an annual basis. I retired from building teams at age 39, and prior to that, I'd earned over $10 million the previous 5 years. I understand what it looks like when the stars line up. I can tell you in 40 years of being involved in multiple business, I've never seen anything closely, remotely like this. I'm going to give you the bottom line first, then I will fill in the details. Ask anyone who knows me, they will tell you I am a no fluff kind of guy. I believe in calling it the way it is, the way I see it. I get fired up and excited when it is based upon wisdom of the ages, truths, and documented facts. And I absolutely cannot stand hype, false promises, and lack of authenticity and substance. I do need to let you know up front, and I mean no disrespect, I could give a flying flip if you get involved in this program. The odds are someone on our team who has worked with you in the past knows you and respects you, so they sent you this report because you are on their chicken list or an entrepreneur they highly respect. Well, you aren't on my chicken list. I don't have a chicken list. At some point on our journey, we all have heard this is going to happen with or without you. Never in history have those words been truer. Let this fact sink in. And sincerely, let this sink in. Over 800,000 affiliates from around the world have joined this program during the first 10 months in existence. And I said, read that again, so let's read it again. Over 800,000 affiliates from around the world have joined this program during the first 10 months of its existence. Have you ever heard or seen anything remotely close to those numbers? Yes, where there is smoke, there is fire. Honestly, that fact alone should indicate to the right people that you don't need to assume anything, and you must get the bottom line facts around what I'm going to share. Get the facts. That's my request. I hope that's a reasonable request. Out of respect to you, I'm going to give you the bottom line first and then attempt to fill in the facts as I mentioned earlier. I know many of you reading this know enough to be dangerous regarding cryptocurrency, mining rigs, and the IoT, Internet of Things, network. Some of the best advice an entrepreneur shared with me years ago is you don't need to know everything, you just know enough to be able to make a profit. If the timing is right and the opportunity is legal, ethical, and moral and nobody gets hurt, go for it. Caps, if the average Joe can do it, team builders get rich. And I'm going to say that again, guys, because it's so important. If average Joe or Joanne can do this, can do it, whatever it is, then team builders get rich. During my last 7 weeks working this program, I have personally enrolled 132 people. 84 of them I have never met, never talked to on the phone. They didn't know me, and I didn't know them. This is very significant because the natural human response is, yeah, Dale's, he's been in the game for 40 years. He's got a huge email list, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I get that. I respect that. That's what I would be thinking. But honestly, my approach has been just the opposite. I haven't scratched 99% of my email list. I contacted 25 personal entrepreneurs and friends, and 19 of them joined. The other 29 or so of the people that I knew were people I personally sponsored on my APL Go North America launch team. People I love and respect and appreciate, and had to let them know the small pivot that I was making. I really have approached this like a test, an experiment, if you will. I felt like the market would be the average Joe who has never been involved in any kind of side gig business, and based upon the results we are getting, that appears to be correct. They have heard enough about cryptocurrency to know something is going on, and if they can get involved with no investment, I felt the masses would see this as a no-brainer. Don't let the world crypto freak you out here. Hang in with me. At the time of this writing, the 2021 World Series is going on. I just watched a commercial where former Red Sox star David Ortiz is promoting, quotes, the official cryptocurrency of Major League Baseball, or the official cryptocurrency exchange of Major League Baseball. So the average Joe market could not be more ready for this. When there is 100% no investment required and no way a person can lose money, it's just the cherry on top. It's not necessary with a real business opportunity, but it is always the cherry on top. We have just developed a simple system that can be taught in less than an hour and implemented immediately after the training. 100% of the people that are implementing this system are having people join with them almost immediately. Yes, I said 100%. This is a true copy and paste system if there ever was one. They do not have the opportunity to open their mouth and mess it up. Team building has never been about what you can do or what I can do. It's always been about what can the average person with above average desire do. Herbalife exploded back in the day because they had average people that could use the product, wear the button, and tell their story. There is genius in simplicity. Last week I shot a video of dozens of people sharing their experience on what has happened for them in 6 days after implementing the system. Multiple people that had enrolled 0 people previously, had referred 0, were now having 3, 5, 7, 9, and more, much more, new affiliates joining them after we taught this perfect promotion system. Many of these people have been hanging around the network marketing, direct sales industry for 5, 10, 15 years or longer and never sponsored anyone, or maybe a handful of people. You know, you get all the people they've ever sponsored their entire career in one hand, or count them on one hand. You know, I'm talking about 5 or less people in 15 years. One gentleman had enrolled one person prior to seeing the training, and in 6 days went from 1 new affiliates to referring 42. 42 in 6 days. There's not one single person who's implemented this system, this very simple system, who's not referred at least 2 people in the past 6 days. The vast majority, again, had no solid team building experience or results ever. This report is designed not for them, but for you, the solid, successful, proven team builder. Okay, so that's the truth. And it's been very well documented. I've got everything on video. I told our team that we had to document what was happening because sincerely, I don't believe anything of this historical significance has ever happened in this profession that I'm aware of. So I will share the numbers with you and then the details. And again, guys, I'm going to break away from the PDF here for a minute, or from the report. I want you to really understand, because see, I don't know if I could be hearing what you're hearing without thinking this is absolutely hype. It's ridiculous. There's no way people could sit in on an hour training, watch it, and then immediately implement it. Immediately, not have to, like that night. And then every single person that was on the training had within 6 days enrolled a minimum of 2 new affiliates, and the top being 46 new affiliates. With many people enrolling 10, 15 people, I'm talking about in 6 days. It's true. It's documented. If you don't know me, I wouldn't believe me. But those of you that do know me, some of you have been listening to this podcast for 5 years or longer, you know where I'm coming from. So that's what we're talking about. When I say I don't think anything of this historical significance has ever happened, man, I really mean it. So I will share with you the numbers and then we can get into the details. Actually, before we go there, it's probably the best that you watch this short 4-minute video so you can get a basic understanding of what's gotten our team and over 800,000 people around the world so turned on. And I've got the video there in this PDF. I'm sorry I didn't even think about it, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it because I think the audio will speak to it, not as well as the video. If you want to see the video, let me know. I'll email it to you. But this audio of the video, it's real short, but it'll give you a really good understanding. So listen up, because I'm sure the volume is going to go down a little bit. If you need to turn your volume up, go ahead and do that.
Do you know who owns your wireless network? Most likely, some ginormous big brand tech company with stacks and stacks of moolah. Well, what if you were able to own part of a similar network, which is growing constantly every day? It's called the Internet of Things, or IoT network. Heard of it? It powers billions of all those helpful things like our beautiful smart devices, life-saving medical sensors, security monitors, remote tracking devices, and the list goes on. So now you know you can help power all that and get paid for it in helium, which is a form of cryptocurrency. You know the digital currency that's super secure because it's kept in an online fortress of solitude called blockchain technology? But you might have known that. And all that happens from this one little device called a helium hotspot you can get from iHub Global. All you do is plug it in and start earning or mining helium automatically, which goes directly into your account. Simple as that. You basically earn money by doing practically nothing, so you can afford to spend more time with who's important to you. Earnings vary based on where you live, and iHub will show you simple ways to track how much you earn every day. You can also bring in your family and friends to earn more as an affiliate. And they'll earn too while we build the biggest network in the world together. And eventually, your earnings go even higher and higher with our shared hosting plan. Okay, then why iHub Global, you ask? Because it's free to start. Our mission is growing the network by more of us owning the network. We'll do it together with simple training on the basics. We'll also show you simple earning strategies to grow. By using our proprietary app called Helium Track, you can track your hotspots and run virtual simulations to place free hotspots in the best locations to further expand your network of affiliates and earnings. Who knew owning this network could be so easy? So if you're ready, let's grow together with iHub Global. Join and request a hotspot for your home or office today for free.
Okay, so that's the video. It's about 2 minutes, again, if you want to see the actual video, but you get the idea of what's going on. So the box, the hotspot, has about a 10-mile radius and works on FM radio frequency. Once Helium has about 3 million of these boxes strategically placed in the United States, the network will be built. Now, if you think back about in the day when cell companies were paying people to place cell phone towers on their property, that's really what's happening here, only with individuals and small hot boxes. You know, it's about the size of an internet router. At the time of this writing, about 80% of the addresses in the United States are eligible for a hotspot. But some areas are too dense, which basically means your neighbor beat you to the punch. So the company has everything mapped out, and it all happens automatically. A person can go in, see if their location is available. If it's not, it will say, sorry, too dense. If it is, then they can proceed. As this continues to grow, the number of available addresses is obviously going to become less and less until the whole thing is built out. I mean, they don't need any more cell towers on farmland throughout the United States. And already some of the major cities like Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, San Diego, they're on the verge of being built out and done with iHub Global, with these hotspots in people's homes and businesses. But this is a worldwide opportunity, and I currently have about people, the last time I looked, it was like 16 different countries So the bottom line numbers to 6 figures a month is really this. Over the past 7 weeks, my team has grown from 0 to over 1,003 people at the time of this writing. Honestly, now it's probably over 1,500, but when I was writing, it was 1,003 people. Over 500 of those people have been added since we introduced what I call the perfect promotion system, and that was less than 10 days ago. This system can be implemented quickly and easily done by anyone. It can be learned in an hour and immediately put into action, and it will create positive results within hours. This system is the reason 100% of the people implementing it are getting enrollments, sometimes 3, 4, 5, or more in a day. It centers around the video that you guys just heard, but obviously there's more. But the video is the attention getter for the masses. So based upon what's happened for us so far, we will call my 1,003 1,000 to make the math easier. Those 1,000 people will receive a box about the size of an internet router. When they receive it, they will plug it in, place it by a window, connect it to their Wi-Fi. It's an easy process, include all the instructions and the videos included. It doesn't take any time to get it connected. It may take a while to download the Helium blockchain, but the whole process takes less than 5 minutes. There are a lot of variables in the example I'm going to give you, but what I'm sharing with you is the best, most conservative numbers I'm aware of as of this date and time in history. I know, based upon the results we are seeing, that the average Joe who can follow a very simple system can build out a network totaling 250 people within 1 year. And for those of you that have been involved in network marketing for a while, you may think, well, Dale, that sounds like a lot. It does. I get it. But again, we're talking about 100% success rate at the time when this was written. So just stay with me here. I understand the skepticism and I don't blame you, but I promise you everything you're hearing is 100% true. So let me get back to the document here, the report. They don't have to enroll all 250 themselves, even though some will. And you say, well, Dale, some will. Believe it or not, I had multiple people that enrolled over 100 people in less than 3 weeks using this system that they did not know and have never met and never talked to. Now, unbelievable, I know, but 100% success rate. 250, they never will. The way this affiliate plan is structured, you get paid on every hotspot box to infinity. So when I say 250, this is very, very conservative, and that is based upon devoting about 1 hour a week to this project. The least amount a person can make from the placement of a hotspot is 10% of the helium mined by that box. The most is 35%. So when you refer somebody refer, I'm going off script, but when somebody is referred, they plug in the box, they connect it to the blockchain, and they just leave it plugged in. They're done. Then they're going to mine helium every single month, anywhere from two coins a month to 200 coins a month. And if you're the person that referred them, and they mine 10 coins this month, you get whatever it is, you get 10 to 35% of the helium that they actually mine from their box because you referred them. The truth is, in a structure of 250 people, the majority of people would be earning 35%. anybody after your 25th referral, you would earn 35%. And again, I'm not going to get into the details. I'm giving you the highlights. Back to the report. Of course, the person that provided you this report can send you a video of the exact compensation plan in detail, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom line for you. So conservative average is you can expect 20% of the amount of helium that every box mines every single month. Keep in mind there are no monthly fees, no auto ships, no memberships of any kind required to participate. Just order the box, plug it in, and help build out this IoT, helium IoT, Internet of Things, H&T crypto network. Are you with me so far? So that's the program. If you're with me so far, basically we were giving away hotspots, people plug them in, and the box makes them money. It's like I contacted my 91-year-old Aunt Betty, and I said, Aunt Betty, this is Dale. How you doing? We chit-chatted for a minute, and I said, listen, the reason I'm calling is if there was a box that I could send you that you could plug it in and I could help you get it connected, and it would pay you money every month, is there any reason you wouldn't want one? And her response was, no, Dale, I like money just like everybody else. And again, that was the norm. Every conversation. I mean, my first 25 contacts, from my phone, it was like, of course I want one. Why wouldn't anybody want one? I said, well, I'm sorry, I can't send you a box, but there's a company in Florida that can. Go over to this website, check it out, see if your location is available. And guys, it was sincerely that simple. That's all we did. Again, there's genius in simplicity. So back to the report. Some boxes will mine 2 helium crypto coins a month. Some will mine 200. There's a lot of factors that play into that. The most important is density of placement. If boxes are too close to each other, they cancel each other out. So that is why people can only qualify for a box as long as there is not another one too close to them, which again is the genius, the fact they have this software and can determine that before they send out a box. This ensures that your box will mine the most helium available based upon your location. There are other factors that determine how much is mined, such as how high up it is placed. You want it as high in your residence as possible, not in your basement. Most are simple common sense factors and are discussed in the training videos in the back office of IHO Global. So let's say that the average box in your network mines only 20 helium tokens a month. Let's say that the average Joe team member in 1 year has a network of referrals of 250 boxes, each mining 20 tokens a month. That's 5,000 tokens per month, correct? Joe's commission is 20% of the tokens mined, which in our example would be 1,000 tokens that he would receive. Helium has been around $20 a token for the past month or so, and again, this was at the time of writing. But at the time of this writing, I just looked it up. It is at $25.62 per coin. So in our example, Joe has 1,000 helium coins he would convert to cash. 1,000 times 25.62 equals $25,620 for the month. Not bad for an average Joe that has just followed the perfect promotion system and spent a few hours a week implementing it. Ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't light your fire, your wood is wet. I mean, really. $25,000? And again, I know these numbers sound astronomical, but they are what they are. So let me get back to the document. So look what this example would mean for me personally after 7 weeks sporadically doing my promotions. 1,003 members, each mining 20 tokens a month. That is a total of 20,060 tokens. I would receive 20% of that very conservatively. That would be 4,012 helium tokens. You multiply that times the current price of $25.62. That equals $102,787.44 for the month. Not bad when you consider this has been extremely part-time effort for me over the last 7 weeks. And really most of the growth has come over the past 10 days. That's the bottom line. We're talking about an income of over $1.2 million over 12 months. Yes, the price of helium could go up or down. iHub could, or the company Helium, could sell out or merge with another company or may have to make other adjustments, and there's many other factors. I've never been one to count my chickens before they're hatched. I'm just giving you an example, an example based upon my experience to this point in time over the past 7 weeks. All any of us can do is teach ourselves to do is make the best decisions we can with the facts that we have at the time, understanding there are many other factors that could skew these projects. But many experts predict helium to be around $50 a coin in 12 months. I've even seen projections down the road for a few years from now to see the helium coin to rise as high as $600 a coin. This blows my mind, really. I have no doubt that a dozen or so new members have joined our team just in the time that you've been reading this report. If I were you, here's exactly what I would do at this moment. Go to DaleCalvert.com/iHub right now, and click the Join Now button and see if your address is available and secure it before your neighbor does. The person that shared this report with you will contact you and point you to our private team Facebook page where you can learn more about the perfect promotion system we are using, get your questions answered, and basic education on the Helium Network and the Internet of Things. Sincerely, time is of the essence. We are having more and more people that are not able to secure their free hotspot box because someone in their area has already reserved that location. So before you read any further, go there now and join and secure your box. Who knows, someone who lives down the road from you may be reading this report right now as well. DaleCalvert.com/IHUB. The only reason I'm not devoting 100% of my time and energy into this project. So this is the next chapter of this report. Everything I've shared with you and every experience people are having is 100% accurate and not embellished in any way. The examples are based upon real numbers. With that said, I'm not a financial broker, advisor, crypto broker, lawyer, or anybody else that you should be taking financial or legal advice from. So do your own due diligence, but do it now because time is of the essence. Yes, this is a worldwide opportunity, but once about 3 million devices have been deployed in the United States, no more hotspot mining boxes will be deployed in the U.S. because the network will be built out. Using our example earlier of the cell phone towers, all of them will be in place. Currently, at the time of this writing, there are 259,397 hotspots deployed, not just in the U.S., but around the world. You can see this for yourself, and I give the web address, which I'll put in the show notes, but it's explorer.helium.com. When I started looking at this back in January of 2021, there was no iHub Global. The company didn't exist. They hadn't even started yet. There were less than 50,000 of these hotspots deployed all over the world, and about half of them were in the United States and Canada. I heard a young man on a podcast talking about mining helium, which I'd never heard of. A few years ago, I looked at the possibility of setting up Bitcoin mining rigs, but with the noise and the electric cost to run the rigs and other factors, I just couldn't make the math make sense. But Bitcoin was at about $1,000 a coin then. If I'd only known it was going to go to 60,000, I would have put everything into this project. So anyway, this young man had my ear when he said he had 6 hotspot mining boxes set up strategically in different locations, and they were making him on average $750 per box. I spent about 10 hours of research learning everything I could, and I decided that I was going to buy 6 Bobcat miners, and because they appeared to be the best, and set them strategically up, 3 in Kentucky and 3 in Georgia. Then what happened? This was January, February of this year. Then what happened? If you're reading this close to the time of the writing, which is October 2021, just look at the car lots in your town. There are no cars being made. Why? No computer chips. With COVID and one of the largest manufacturers of chips in the world, in China's plant burning down, there's a real crisis going on. iHub Global was launched in March. I never dreamed somebody would figure out how to market these hotspots through word of mouth and affiliate marketing. I watched this for months after iHub was launched. I was very conflicted for many reasons, most out of obligation to my existing APL Go team, so I had to figure out how I could ethically and authentically include them without throwing in the towel with our current company, because sincerely, APL Go is where my heart is. The truth is, iHub Global is a one-level affiliate program that pays to infinity. And I know that's a mind tweak, but that is what it is. Then I came down with COVID. I was totally out of the loop for a few weeks. Long story short, I decided what I've always known to be true, and that's the quote from J. Paul Getty: I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts, even though I'd already ordered 6 of the boxes and had no idea when I would get them. And now they're saying, I was reading yesterday, where if you order a hotspot, if you've ordered a hotspot because of the chip shortage with there's about 5 different manufacturers, don't even expect to get it until 2023. So that's what's going on there. So I talked to one of the owners of the company a couple of weeks ago before I decided to get serious. He told me he felt like they would have at least 250,000 hotspot miners deployed within the next 12 months and 1 million more right after that. Honestly, that's all I needed to hear. If they had 1 million miners in a warehouse ready to be shipped, I would be devoting 100% of my efforts into this program, because when the network is built, it's built and the game's over. And I then can go back to my calling, to my true love, which is APL Go. My primary focus is on building the APL Go North America launch team. That's where my heart is. I love network marketing. I despise what it's become. We have an awesome group of people there, and we are doing things right. And I see people progressing and becoming different, developing the right skill sets, mindsets, and coming down the road. I believe APL Go will be here years into the future. I believe in the ownership. I believe in the products. I believe in my sponsor, and I believe in our team. So that's my future. It is quite possible that some of you reading this may feel the same way about your company or traditional business. However, for me, the reality is the phrase, strike while the iron is hot, has never rang truer. I'm convinced if you're a visionary entrepreneur, the person that shared this report with you feels that you are, you will come to the same conclusion. When was the last time you saw a realistic, documented opportunity to create a six-figure monthly income starting from scratch within 6 months? I love the quote, a wise person investigates what a fool takes for granted. Get your address in the system immediately and then get back with the person that shared this report with you. Much respect. If we haven't met, I look forward to meeting you sometime in the future. Dale Calvert, Calvert Marketing Group, DaleCalvert.com. I really need to do a brain dump. That's the end of that report. I need to do a brain dump. Again, this report was written on October 27, 2021. I'm just glad I have it documented somewhere. It will never be published. It was written so myself and our team members would have a simple way to contact experienced team builders who needed to not forget about the organizations they built, but to get in front of this wave and build a completely different kind of organization full of non-entrepreneurs who just were looking for a good investment, because the perfect promotion system was doing that at levels that I don't think this profession, our affiliate marketing has ever been seen, done ever. And I know in my 40 years, sincerely, I've just never seen anything like it. I mean, for 7 weeks, for 10 days, this was like the best run ever. For 10 days, it was unbelievable. Dozens, sometimes hundreds of people joining every single day, and every single person on our team having success every week. It was just so daggone exciting. So anyway, my plan was to wait until the official launch of iHub, and that happened on November 6th, last Saturday, in Las Vegas, before I got this report out and shared with my leaders how I was planning on using it and how they could use it. And I'm glad I waited. I did send it to a couple of people, but I didn't set up any kind of lead capture page for it or anything. I was just undecided the best way, how we were going to do it. And I was going to just, again, share it with some of our top people. And then in Vegas, they announced that they could not any longer provide free hotspots. And when they made that announcement, my immediate thought was, well, we're going to have to learn what's going to be the best way to promote it, because that absolutely killed what I, again, will always call the perfect promotion system, because it was killer. And that was my immediate thought. Okay. Because in my mind, I had heard, see what they did originally, they were doing, like when they first launched, they were doing a 6-pack. You bought 6 of these. They were doing the puppy dog clothes, take them to put one in your house, take 5 to friend's house, relative's house, let them pick it, let them plug them in, and then pay them a % of the helium that's mine for a couple of months. And then just ask them, do you want to keep the box, purchase it, and keep it yourself, or do you want me to take it out? And of course, if somebody's got a box plugged in that's making them, $100 or $200 a month, and they can buy it for $500, I mean, who wouldn't want the box? I mean, it was really that simple. That's the way they started. And I love that approach. And they got 18,000 of these miners, the people that were initially founders, who had ordered these 6-packs, into the market. The day that I was getting ready, the day that we've been crazy here. Some of you know that Dawn's mom recently passed away, so she's with her sisters every day trying to get through, years and years and years, over 60 years of marriage, years of stuff, in the estate. And so I had scheduled, and I hate to even say this, but a lot of you know I'm like this. And because, I schedule pretty much every minute of every day. And we had scheduled time to talk on a Saturday about this because I was going to have to explain to my wife, we ordered 6 of these hotspots, and now I'm getting ready to order 6 more, and we haven't got the 6 that we ordered way back when, and probably won't maybe until 2023. And so I got to explain all this to her because I like to. I mean, she's going to say, Dale, if this is what you feel like we need to do, do it. But I like to keep her in the loop. And so the day before we were scheduled to talk about it, they did away with the 6-pack program, and they introduced this free employment program. And so once that happened, it's like, what are these guys doing, was my thought. I mean, why are they doing this? They don't need to do it. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Stay with the 6-pack. But, it kind of threw me for a loop. And then I got COVID and was totally out of bed or in bed for a couple of weeks and out of the loop, and was trying to keep up with a lot of different things, but mentally, functionally, I just couldn't do it. And then I started to get my strength back and started to look at this again. So, but what had happened, of the first 18,000 miners that were sent out, over 2,000, I'd heard, had never been plugged in. People got the box and never plugged it in. And then I heard later on last week that it was closer to 3,500, not 2,000. It was almost double that. So when they made this announcement, that they were no longer doing free deployment, it was like, for me, it was not a shock, but I'm telling you what, for everybody watching the live stream and a lot of the people that we enrolled, it was pandemonium. I mean, people were just pissed off. Just pissed off. And I didn't even know it. I mean, I'm sitting there, and again, when they made the announcement, I'm thinking, well, that was expected. And then when they said, when they said we can no longer offer free deployment, I'm thinking, okay, well, it was a great 10-day, 2-week run here. We're just going to have to figure out how to grind a little bit and what we're going to have to do to what's going to be the best way to promote it from this point forward. And that's really all I was thinking about, because honestly, I got that live stream going on. I'm watching Kentucky and Tennessee play football. It's a back and forth game, tied up at halftime. I got all this other, and I'm working on this other project for one of my daughters on my laptop. And I didn't think anything about it. And then I saw all this chat start going off like popcorn. And I'm not the kind to read chat, and I didn't read it. It didn't matter. I didn't have any idea what they were talking about. Didn't matter. And then my phone rings, and it's one of our team members, and he said, Dale, are you reading the chat? And I said, no. He said, people are going ballistic over them not doing the free miners anymore. And then for the first time, really, I understood, why and how people would think that way. Especially people that thought, I'm just going to get this free miner and I'm going to plug it up, and have never been involved in any type of business, direct sales, team building at all. I mean, I got it. I understood. So then it was like damage control and trying to figure out what's going on and what's going to be the best move. And it was, to say hectic doesn't even begin to understand it. I ended up doing a webinar, during halftime of the Tennessee-Kentucky game, and I feel like I may have shared this before with you guys. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I did. Last week, sorry. And people see things not as they are, but they see things as they are. So I won't continue. You guys that have listened to this podcast every week, you know. But those of you that don't and you're just tuning in, it was like, my gosh, people were freaking out, just going ballistic, losing it, which should have been more predictable for all of us, honestly. I understand why it wasn't, because a lot of people kind of like me. I mean, I'm thinking, look, if you know me, I've never blown smoke. I tell it like it is. I'm not going to tell you anything that I don't believe. I'm not going to tell you to do anything that I'm not willing to do. And just because I am doesn't mean you should. Make your own decisions. Look at the numbers. Look at your situation. Boom. But it wasn't like that. So, let me just end this session and I'll keep on dumping my brain if you guys don't mind. So I've always taught the quality of our life is in direct proportion to the quality of questions we ask ourselves and then answer ourselves truthfully. So the announcement was made a week ago on Saturday. Yes, I was disappointed, but I was mostly disappointed in how they made the announcement. I thought they totally dropped the ball. They filled the week, that day, promotional day, with a lot of stuff that wasn't necessary. And I felt like somebody should have recognized somewhere, even though I don't know that I would have, but somebody should have recognized, hey, this is real important. It's the most important part of this event. We got to make sure that we clearly share with people what's going on and why the move was made, and the fact that we had to bring on an investor group and to fund this project because it's gotten so big so quick, over 800,000 members, and we have to have an investor group, and they're requiring a deposit because they're not going to send free $500 boxes to people that aren't going to take the time to plug them in, because if they don't plug them in, the company doesn't make any money. Nobody makes any money, and that's a good way for everybody to go broke and the company to be dissolved. And, a lot of us know that too quick growth can take a company out of business as quick as not enough business, not enough growth. So anyway, I contacted the ownership on Tuesday, expressed my opinion, but I personally, in my mind, refuse to spend any more mental energy on the what ifs. And I told my team, and I made the decision, look, I'm not going to devote any thought until after the corporate Zoom, which happened on Thursday. So the corporate Zoom happened on Thursday. They introduced and explained the new program where a person can pay $99 application fee and lease a miner for $18 a month. Or if they want to, they can just pay a $99 application fee, and then when their miner's ready to be shipped, they can pay a $400 deposit, and at any time if they decide they want to send the miner back, they get their $400 back. I mean, overall, under the circumstances, very fair. Again, I have no problem with that or making the decision, and I get why the decision had to be made, but I just thought when they introduced it, they just totally dropped the ball. That was really my only complaint, that it wasn't explained at the level that it should have been and could have been. And it would have saved me and a lot of other people a lot of time, energy, effort, and, trying to put out fires and explain things to people that are hearing it through third parties that weren't on the live event, and even those that were on the live event, because they did not do a good job of explaining it. But that was it. So after they did the webinar, then I had to ask myself, okay, and we did a quick overview with our quick live with the people on our team that were on the webinar. And then I had to ask myself, has the opportunity changed? because everybody was in the mindset, hey, this is all changed now. It's totally different than it was. And I had to ask myself, has it really changed? Has the opportunity and the upside potential of the income potential of building out this IoT network, has it changed? Has the opportunity changed? Or just the way we can now promote the program changed? You know, y'all have heard me say many times, the quality of our life is in direct proportion to the quality of questions we ask ourselves and then answer them truthfully. So the reality is the perfect marketing system is over. But does that mean that the opportunity is? And I had the most exciting, 10-day run of my career. And what really came from that experience for so many people that deserve to win, during that 2 weeks, they developed a level of confidence and a level of experience that only that 10 days could have given them. That to me was worth it. If the whole thing blew up and they're out of business, those 10 days were worth it to see that happen for other people. And some of you I know are listening to this and you know who you are. And even if you're not one of them, there's others of you that are listening to this, and with your own eyes, you didn't participate, but with your own eyes, you saw what was happening for other people. And when I say 100% success rate, I mean it. It was validated and it was proven. And I think about, I just flashed in my mind, Jewel in Uganda, the young man over there, just unbelievable, put in 40 people in this program in Uganda, in less than a week. And I think about Paulette, who's been, it's been a journey for her. She's been around this industry for years and years and years and years. And it's really been a journey. And to see the growth that she's had, and then to see her, she was one of our team members that put in over 100 people. And that's worth a lot, just to be able to have that success and that under your belt, because that gives you a level of confidence that can only come from those kind of results. And there's a lot of people that have been hanging around this profession for years and have never had that kind of experience and that type of success, and are the confidence that will come from that. Because once that confidence comes, you can get it back and you can hang on to it and you can apply it in other business ventures. So Thursday night we had the corporate webinar. We had our team follow up, and my first call was Friday morning, the day after the webinar. And it's a guy that I had enrolled early, a builder, very business minded. I don't think he's ever had a real job. Great guy in his probably 40s, late, maybe mid 40s. I really don't know how old he is. But I met him years ago when I was consulting and training for the company that he was with. And we've stayed in contact over the years, just heartfelt, good guy, value focused, wants to make an impact for other people. And he was one of the first people I contacted. He was in my first 25 that I contacted. And he joined immediately and had done nothing. Not a thing. And I haven't had time to follow up. It's like I don't have time to follow up with anybody. You either see it or you don't. And he called. That was the first call I got Friday morning. And he said, and I was on that webinar last night. He said, am I hearing things right that they're no longer giving away these boxes, these hotspots for free? And I said, that's right. And he said, fantastic. He said, that was my concern. He said, you can't build a team when people don't have skin in the game. And it was a paradigm shift for me. I mean, I think I probably would have got there. I like to think that I would have, and I like to think that I knew that already. But when he said that, it just really was a shift for me. It's like, that's true, because we had a couple of different team webinars for people, and it was like there was some that had gotten a free box and registered for a free box that had showed up, but the majority hadn't. You know, we had the majority of free people had not joined the Facebook group that we set up to get their questions answered. And it was like, man, it was like, whew. I mean, it was like all those facts that I could document. It's like, in my mind, it's like, that's okay. You know, just let them get the box plugged in once they get it, and I'm fine. You know, they don't have to stay on autoship. Get their free box, plug it in, and we're all good. And that is normal thought. And then when the company says, look, 3,600 of the first 18,000 were never plugged in, then that gives you a different perspective. Again, I would have, that's hard for me to comprehend, but I understand that. And again, all any of us can do is make the best decisions we can at the time with the facts that we have. So when he said that, it was like a real paradigm shift for me, because that makes all the sense in the world. So that was my first call. And honestly, after trying to explain things and putting out fires and dealing with people that, you know, a lot of just negative programming, honestly, you know, their immediate reaction is somebody is trying to mess over me. They have a victim mentality, which a lot of people's victims mentality came out for sure. And after dealing with all that and asking myself, why in the world, Dale, did you decide to come out of coast mode a few years ago? And just all that stuff doesn't last very long. To get this phone call was very encouraging for me in a lot of ways, because I love this guy like a brother. I mean, he's just a good guy. And then so it kind of said, okay, Dale, let's look at some facts here, because what he just said, and based upon the number of hotspots that were not plugged in, the reality probably is, you know, even though it's really easy, and again, I could argue it both ways still, because, you know, the reality is I don't care if they don't talk to anybody. Just plug the box in. I mean, really, just plug it in. You'll make money. The company makes money. I get my override, and you do whatever you want to do, because I know there's enough entrepreneur-minded people out there that once they see this, they're going to build it big. They're going to build it huge. It's already attracting some unbelievable, you know, I was sitting there watching that Vegas event, and it's like, man, I'm looking around, and there's former network marketing company owners all over the room. So again, I'm just kind of verbally vomiting on you, and I apologize. Let me get through some of the rest of this, but I think hopefully this will help you when you understand the mindsets that people need to go through sometime, that we all do, and we need to be asking the right questions. So I looked at it and I think, okay, at the time when this book, this report was written, helium had been on a major upswing. It was around, you know, $15, $16, $17. When I first, you know, when I got involved, it was around $14. When I first started looking at it back in January, and then in September it had risen to about $16, $17. And now, 17 days ago, when this book was written, this report was written, helium price, what did I say earlier, was $25.62. $25.62. I looked at it this morning. Okay, 17 days. I looked at it this morning. it broke through $50 this week. This morning it was at $53.27. So again, a lot of the factors as far as the income, if you're getting 20 coins and they're worth $20, it's a whole lot different than getting 20 coins that are worth $53 currently as of right now of this recording. Big upswing. And that's what I said earlier. It's like, what if this coin does go to $600? It changes the whole perspective on the whole business model. It's just like, Dale, you could have set up Bitcoin miners and mined Bitcoin when it was, around $1,000 a coin. And no, you might have lost money for a while, but what would have happened over time? And we're not even going to lose money here. I mean, we're not even talking about losing money. We're just talking about what is the upside potential. I mean, I would give anything now if I could go back to 2017 and buy 3 Bitcoin miners and set them up in my garage and pay the electrician to come in and redo the wiring to the level that it needed to be. I would do that in a heartbeat today if I knew that, Bitcoin was going to get to 60,000 a coin. So again, I get a wise person learns from their own mistakes, but a really wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And the way to see the future is to look at the past. So when I wrote this report 17 days ago, I said there's 259,397 hotspots deployed around the world. In 17 days, that has increased by 53,665 hotspots. At the time of this recording, when I checked it this morning, it's at 313,062. When I look back in January, it was less than 50,000, 30-some thousand back in January. So I've seen this grow tenfold since January. Okay, if it grows tenfold again over the next year or so, next 10 months, how long is it going to take to get the 3 million deployed in the United States? So anyway, the dust is starting to settle a little bit. Here's where we are today. Here's what I have to ask myself. Will the average person be willing to invest $99 one time and $18 a month to create a $1,500 a year passive income? And those stats are based upon the latest iHub numbers. And I'll put a webinar in the show notes if you want to see exactly where those came from. But that's really the only question I have to wrap my mind around. Will the average person, not the negative skeptic that thinks the world's out to screw them and, with a victim mentality, not those people, but will the average person invest $99 one time and $18 a month to create $125 average income, $1,500? I think it's $1,250 a month. I can't remember, but I know it's $1,500 a year in passive income. And that's really the only question that I have to answer right now. That's it. And based upon the crypto buzz, we'll call it, it reminds me kind of the home business buzz years ago, but the crypto buzz, what percentage of the population would say, yeah, I'll invest $99 and $18 a month to make $1,500 a year. Where do I get my box? I mean, I think for the right people, the people that we sincerely want, that we really want, not the freebie seekers that order everything they see free all the time, every day. It's a habit. But the right people, I think they'll jump on this like that. I really do. I think it's going to be 70, 80%. If they understand it, if somebody is there to communicate with them. Now, will they answer an ad and do that? I'm not sure. I know I have one member on our team that's doing some testing right now. Talked to him this morning, and he's doing some ads, and he said, Dale, I just found somebody that has responded, and he's putting the numbers in, the $18 a month. And he said he has 10 locations. When can they talk? Okay. So again, that's the type of people we're looking for. So the next question I have to honestly ask and answer myself is, can we put some tools in the marketplace that can help the average person personally enroll 40 people over the next 12 months? And honestly, I have no doubt that can be done. Zero. So if we can, and if we will, based upon the latest numbers from iHub Global, those people can create $100,000 plus income with 40 personally sponsored people. 40, not 400, not 4,000, not 40,000. $100,000 income, realistically beyond measure, like nothing I've seen, with 40 people. So that's not the same experience, as, trying to focus on experienced, proven team builders and teaching them how to make six-figure income within 6 months. It's not the same. It's different when you're focused on, hey, I'm looking for chicken list people and I want to show them how to make six figures in 6 months. It's a different mindset than say, hey, I'm focused on entrepreneur-minded people that understand business and investing and have probably been involved in multiple different businesses. And I want to share with them how 40 people enrolled can create $100,000 income. See, I think that dog will hunt as well. I really do. Maybe even better. I don't know. But that's probably the path that we're going to have to take. And, maybe the new report will be titled, How to Create a Six-Figure Side Gig Income in 12 Months Starting Today. That could be the new report. I mean, what opportunity do you know about where a teachable newbie could start today, devote a few focused hours a week to a side gig, and create $100,000 plus passive residual income within a year? And please hear what I said, a passive residual income within a year. And I mean, if you know of one, let me know, because I would love to take a look at it. I mean, I can give you about a half a dozen opportunities where a newbie can start today with a real focused part-time effort and the right mentor and create a six-figure a year income. Again, if they have the right mentor and are willing to put in the time. I mean, it can be done with eBay and even website flipping and buying and selling online businesses. It could be done with FBA and Amazon and tax lien investing, and the list goes on and on. Most of those are going to require an investment of startup capital if you're going to make $100,000, because you can't be focusing on buying one website. You need to be focusing on buying 10 or 12 of the right ones. And again, there's strategy, and that all goes back to the right mentorship. And you're going to have some capital for most of these. But I don't know one business model that offers $100,000 passive residual income. And there's a huge difference between making $100,000 a year, working really hard, doing major research on websites and online businesses that you can buy, or securing products that you can sell on Amazon FBA or even eBay, or taking the time to go to every tax lien auction held in Georgia, even though it may be 3 hours away, and you get there and there's only 3 properties, and you're dealing with people that are just overpaying in the market because they're, and again, I don't want to go down that road, but again, I don't know one business model that you can start with such a low startup fee. And again, we're talking about $99 app fee and $18 a month lease, where you can create 100,000 passive residual income. Do you? And if you do, now's the time to let me know, because I'm open. And again, I'm serious. And because I don't think there's one out there. I sincerely don't. And again, I'm not looking for theory or hopes. And don't you dare send me an email and say, Dale, you really need to look at Melaleuca. Dale, you got to take a look, or any others established or startup company that's just now starting in the United States. I'm looking for documented facts. I'm going to look behind the curtain. Don't send me some startup MLM with a consumable product. I've already found the number one opportunity in that niche without question. APL Go, and really I'm not even interested in traditional network marketing, because I understand the 3 to 5 year game plan that's required there. I get that, and I'm willing to do it, but I'm only willing to do it when the stars line up. And the stars have already lined up. I've already found it. So don't be sending me that kind of stuff. Please don't send me that kind of stuff. I'll remove you from every email list and ban you everywhere I can ban you. Don't waste my time. I don't waste yours. I'm going to wrap this up, but here's something I've been thinking about, and I'm just going to cover this really quickly. And again, I haven't devoted a lot of thought here yet, but that's why I would really like your feedback on this. I've been thinking about maybe the first of the year at some point, and it's going to take me some time to put it together, but with our team, but promoting a paid 3-hour workshop, and maybe calling the workshop How to Create $100,000 Passive Side Gig in 12 months or less starting today. And the ticket to the workshop would be $117. That's real important. It's $117, and it will be filled with value. And I'm looking at 4 different business models. eBay, which I have a course that I sold for $997. And I took it off the market probably 2 or 3 years ago when the website got hacked. But I have the course, and it's phenomenal. It's helped a lot of people get started in eBay and do well. Some of them are still full time. I got a guy in Australia that's been full time eBay since the very first time I introduced it. I'll never forget it. I mean, he sold a harpoon gun on like a 6-foot something harpoon gun, and but eBay, eBay is really good for the right person, for the right personality. Amazon FBA is quite a bit more detailed, and it's getting tougher and tougher, but it's possible. Kindle publishing is good if you like writing the books yourself. So I could do eBay, Amazon, Kindle publishing. We could talk about Shopify stores, 2 or 3 different business models. Maybe even affiliate marketing, build in an email list, maybe PLR. I mean, there's a lot of things we could talk about. And then I could also talk about iHub Global as well, and the deployment of these hotspots. So there would be like 4 different sections, and give real value, like people that are involved in eBay now. When they got off, I'd want them thinking, man, that's the best thing. That's the best tips and advice and systems on eBay I've ever heard. Same with Amazon or Kindle or anything that we do. But very, very valuable. I can include maybe some tools. I might even be able to include, portions of the courses that I've done, and maybe even give it some consulting time, for that 117. But it's a workshop. And so I've been thinking about that. And then I've also thought about, well, maybe we could write the PDF and put the PDF out there, how to create a 6-figure, how to create 100,000 passive income side gig in 12 months or less starting today. That could be a PDF. And in the PDF, I could talk about those different business models and that they will create the income, but they're not going to be passive and residual. So maybe we could put the PDF out there, and then we got the PDF out there, and from the people that download the PDF, then we could invite them to a webinar. And that really may be the way to go in 2022. Regardless, we'll figure it out. We're going to win, and we'll win at the highest level the market allows. And I think understanding that the market determines how well you can win is a very new paradigm shift for me. So this podcast kind of went in a different direction than I originally thought we would do. A podcast called The Market Determines Your Upside Income Potential, Not Your Product, Service, Compensation Plan, or Training Systems. We'll say that again because it's true. Man, this is true. The market determines your income potential, not your products, services, compensation plan, or training systems. I wanted the past 7 weeks to be documented. And honestly, I worked hard on the 6 figures in 6 months report. And I thought that that might not ever be published. And I'm sure it won't be at this point, but it's like I put so much work in that, and I feel like there's a value and there's some lessons in that, and it would be evergreen for many people, and it might serve others well as a future case study. So I hope it helped you. And then along this subject, I really wanted to share one more thought with you before I let you go. And again, that is the emotions of the market determines your upside financial potential. The emotions of the market, not your compensation plan, not your products, not your training systems, and not your company owner. All that is very, very important. You got to have all that. But when the bottom line, the emotions of the market determine your upside financial potential at any given time. And you have never heard me say that before. But this is an idea that has taken a while, but it's finally got from my head to my heart this week. I've observed it my whole life, but it's been very, very, very hard for me to accept it. Back in 1990, I remember, I spent that year day trading, and it was really pretty simple. You turn it on CNBC with Squawk Box in the morning, and you listen to the daily news, and then watch everybody react to it. And people would start dumping a stock because Nike got some type of bad publicity in some third world country or something, and you would just watch the stock start people selling off their Nike, and you just wait until you felt like, okay, all the sell-off is done, and then you go in and buy it, and normally by the end of the trading day, or for sure within 3 or 4 days, within a week, it would be right back to where it was before the negative news hit the market. I mean, I felt like it was just ridiculous for me. It was ridiculous. It was like, this is the simplest thing I've ever done. And since 1990, I've watched this over and over, different markets and people reacting like Pavlov's dogs. The bell rings and they start salivating. And, I get that people kind of crave a dopamine hit in their brain, and they kind of get hooked on things that create that. That's why you see these people sitting there in casinos just pulling that daggone lever over and over and over. I just don't understand it. But I understand most people have unhealthy, compulsive personalities. And you know what? I recognize that in myself, but I recognized it years ago when I was a teenager that got overwhelmingly hooked into the trot races, not thoroughbreds, but the trots behind the buggies, and at the Red Mile in Lexington, Kentucky. And I'm not going to tell you that whole story now, but I mean, I was there every night when the trots were open, and when they were out of town, I couldn't wait for them to get back. You know, and honestly, I think about this from a lot of perspectives. If I hadn't met Dom, there's a really good chance I would be living in Vegas, playing Texas Hold'em for a living. To me, it's just such a simple game. If you know odds and you know a little bit about math and people, because it's just really, it's a people game with cards. It's a people game with cards, and it's just understanding the patterns of people. And after you sit around the table with people for an hour or so, you kind of get, you know, their patterns, and it's kind of my strength. And I'm thankful that I'm not doing that, because I think there's more to life than that. And it's not, but I think about this kind of stuff. And, you know, and I was going back, at one point this week, and I looked at the episode I did back in 2017. It was session 69 on this podcast. It was done, you know, back in 2017. And it was a time when Bitcoin was approaching $20,000. And not one time on this podcast had you ever heard me talk about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or anything like that, because it was still just overloaded with scams. Some of you remember BitConnect. Some of you remember that. And it's like, you know, I didn't want to even touch it, even though I followed it and I knew it, and instinctively I saw where everything was going. And I did a podcast the very first time that I mentioned it. And again, it was approaching 20,000. I really encouraged people, as I had encouraged my daughters, you know, take $100, take $1,000 if you can find it, and buy some Bitcoin. You know, at the time it was like 11,200 is when I really bought in and bought mine, the majority of it. And it was when it was 11.2, and it's like, it's now approaching 20,000. Go get some, you know, even if you can only buy 1/64th of a coin. And I told them where to go and what to do and buy some Bitcoin. And I thought, if you're going to tell your daughters to do something, then you should probably at least mention it to your podcast listeners. And, you know, I had missed Bitcoin a year earlier at $900. I should have bought it at $900. I should have known better. And you can go back and listen to that if you want to. It might be a good, timely podcast, honestly. And I said back then, you cannot call yourself an entrepreneur in today's world without a basic foundational knowledge of cryptocurrency. And I said that back in 2017. That's a direct quote from that podcast. And at the time, I had bought a domain, and my thought was, at the time, I'm going to put together the basics for people so they can go and they can understand blockchain, and they can understand, you know, the basics, all the information that I was just going through. When I find good stuff, put it out there for other people. And that was my thought. And honestly, I never did do it. I never got around to it. It's probably a project that I'm going to do this year because of just where I see things going in the world, in the world economy. There's getting to be another major shift. There really is. And I'm on record now saying it. Believe it or not, just like in network marketing and any other niche, you got the good old boys and girls network. In crypto, there's the good old boys and girls crypto network. And you say, well, Dale, how could that be? It hadn't been around that long. But, you know, they poo-poo the metaverse and anything to do with it. And it's really fascinating just to read some of the articles I've read over the last couple of weeks. So my true belief, I mean, I look at this and it's like the early adopters of crypto from an entrepreneur standpoint, the amount of thought and personal education they had to put into that to come to the logical conclusions that I believe they've all come to. And I see that, and they've been very successful, many of them. I mean, there's been so many people in the last 3 years that have started from zero and created $1 million portfolios in the crypto market. And that's well documented. And then I see some of these same people in the articles that I read, and it's like they don't understand the next shift that's getting ready to happen within crypto. They don't get it. And, you know, I relate this to the people that were early in Shopify, and then Shopify started moving more into a drop shipping platform, and people thought they didn't get that. You know, the traditional Shopify business owners didn't understand how people were setting up these Shopify stores based upon drop shipping. I don't like drop shipping, never have. It's too much out of my control. I mean, there's thousands of drop shippers that are out of business, and the reason why is because they don't have control over their inventory. I mean, look at the ports in California and around the country where the cargo ships can't get in, and right now there's thousands of Shopify drop shippers who are dealing with a customer service headache that I can't even imagine or put my mind around. That's why I could never really get behind drop shipping for that reason. But my point is, you take people that really had to have vision and had to expand and had to become very personally educated. I don't think that really ever happened in network marketing. I think network marketing's just always been kind of based upon personalities. I really do. I obviously have approached it from that standpoint. So I'm really preaching to the choir, preaching to myself at this point, because most people don't even think about systems or think about, you know, it's not about me. It's about what can be created by my team. It's not at the level of understanding of everything that we do around the profession doesn't come close, in my opinion, to where it needs to be. It's the furthest thing from a franchise and much more like a popularity contest. But again, any business niche, it's like eBay and the people that built eBay in the beginning and just made a lot of money and did extremely well. And then Meg Ryan comes in and changes everything all up and removes the feedback loop for buyers and sellers, and just really, you know, made the company much more profitable, but really raked the people over the coals to build that platform. But many of them could not get out of that platform and get to where they get to the new thing. And they just stayed there in eBay. And some of them, I have friends that were making $250,000 and saw their incomes go down to less than $50,000 in 12 months because they didn't understand, hey, I've got to become self-educated somewhere else and I've got to pivot. They didn't get it. They didn't understand. And again, I've watched this for a long time, guys. I've been in this entrepreneurial world for many years and I see it. And it's just surprising to me that I'm now watching it in the crypto space. It's beyond surprising. And these old school crypto guys who are all about Bitcoin and Ethereum and, you know, the Chainlink and the big top 10 coins, poo-pooing all the coins that have anything to do with supporting the metaverse. And I'm reading articles every week about this, and I don't understand. I mean, I respect that from most people, but I wouldn't have never expected it from people that had to have so much vision and about where currency was going in crypto. Before anybody misunderstands me, when you look at the whole entire crypto space, including metaverse coins, all tokens of all kinds, in my mind, the ultimate goal right now, today, has always been and will continue to always be build up your Bitcoin portfolio. Build your Bitcoin portfolio. You know, you can use some of these other altcoins and take your profits. When you're ready to take your profits, take them and then reinvest those profits into more Bitcoin. In my mind, the dollar, especially before we went off the gold standard, but the dollar still today, the world markets, they all look at the dollar, the yen, the euro, every world market, the dollar is kind of the standard on which everything is gauged upon. There's been a bull run in the crypto market in general, and it's because there's Bitcoin is going up. As Bitcoin goes, so does the market. As Bitcoin goes, so does the market in crypto market. So Bitcoin is like the dollar of the old fiat currency world in which we lived, which honestly it's the world in which everybody still lives because only 2% of the American population have any type of crypto holdings in their investment portfolio. But my point is you've got to be able to shift, and you've got to be able to get yourself positioned the best you can. And it's like, this is the way it's done. This is the way it's always been done. This is the way I'm going to do it. And I don't care about that Shopify drop shipping business model. I'm a regular Shopifyer, and I understand that mindset, but sometimes you got to be flexible. You got to look behind the curtain. You just can't assume that everything is really, is what it always is. Because yes, truth is truth. Wisdom of the ages is wisdom of the ages. That is never going to change. That is never going to change. But ultimately, your upside potential as an entrepreneur is in direct proportion to the emotions of the market. The emotions of the market. And again, I was going to do a whole podcast about this. I can't. Right now, I'm not going to go any further than that, but I really wanted to just plant that seed. Because your upside financial potential as of any market has nothing to do, especially in network marketing, with your compensation plan, your products, your training systems, or who your company owner is, but it has everything to do with the emotions of the market, the emotions of the market. And again, this idea has kind of got from my head to my heart this week. As I've said, I've observed it my whole life. I've just watched it over and over and over. And if you go back and you look at the Bitcoin episode number 69 that I did back in 2017, when I was encouraging people to buy at $20, I mean, it was so evident to me back then even. And it's like, we've got to just really stop and think about some of this stuff, because everything is moving so quick and so fast that we're not going to be able to keep up with it if we don't get tuned in and think a little bit deeper. And I was just really shocked, at the responses. I briefly mentioned the metaverse in last week's podcast. And I got this email. I want to share this with you real quickly. It was kind of from Harold. And he said, Mr. Calvert, looks like you let the cat out of the bag about the future of entrepreneurs and the metaverse. I read your article at MLM Success on Monday, and I heard your podcast on Tuesday. Then Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan talked about it together on Joe Rogan's show on Thursday. And then on Friday, Gary Vee had Mark Zuckerberg on his vlog talking about the metaverse and creating business in the metaverse as well. You called it in your Monday article, and these great minds caught up later in the week. I hate network marketing, but I love your insights into personal development, marketing trends, and human EQ. I wouldn't miss an episode. Keep doing what you're doing. And that was from Harold in Utah. And I wanted to share with you because of what's really happened for me this week. And to let all you guys know, I'm probably going to take a break from this podcast probably until the first of the year. I haven't really decided if I'm going to change total direct. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Okay. But I am going to probably take a break. And, you know, I wouldn't call what has happened for me this week really a paradigm shift, because a paradigm shift, as Stephen Covey first talked about in the example of the being on the train, in the subway, and the kids running around, he's trying to read the paper, and then the dad, and I'm not going to repeat that story. Most of you know exactly what I'm talking about, but usually a paradigm shift is like, boom, boom. You totally see things from a different perspective. And what's really happened to me has really been more like a massive realization that success has nothing to do with the quality of your products, your systems, your training programs, or anything but the emotional state of the market. And that's what dictates your short-term, rapid, upside financial opportunity. But with that said, your foundational principles determine your long-term upside potential. If you don't have if you don't have the foundational principles in place, and you do catch an opportunity where you're in the right emotional state of the market, then you're going to run into other problems down the road. You really are. See, what really created the explosion with drop shipping on Shopify stores was Instagram, and was the fact that people say, oh, those sunglasses are cool. That celebrity's wearing them. Where can I get some? And then people understanding that's the way the masses, that's the way, you know, the herd moves. And then they go and they find similar knockoffs and start doing ads and videos and promotions on Instagram, or now it'll be TikTok, where they can sell products to the herd. And that's really what's created that whole business model. It wasn't the fact that they were drop shipping on Shopify, but you combine that with the mentality, the emotion of the marketplace, and you put those two things together, and you end up seeing what we saw with all that. So again, I just needed to touch on this and try to help you guys understand that, you know, where I am, what my plans are, because again, I'm going through a shift right now. Just a major shift. I mean, it was like there was some article that came out. I don't know where it was. I haven't been able to locate it totally yet. I've just seen excerpts of it. It was talking about the protective evil eye or whatever. And it was like in 2 or 3 days, our Evil Eye Collective website just bombarded with orders. And it's like, why? What's going on? You know, we had one order, our largest order ever. You know, usually those orders, the average order rate on that site is about $112, which is great. But we had, you know, several $300 and $400, $500 orders. And it's like, what the heck is going on? So it's really, there's so many things, guys, that have played into this for me. So many different things. I mean, I think the whole iHub Global experience and seeing people's reaction, and it's just been really, really interesting. Very, very interesting. And it's been very exciting for me. But the last thing that I want to do is I really want your feedback. You know, if you were me, what would you do? What do you think makes sense for you? But I'm kind of leaning towards, you know, doing a new report. No, I can't do how to do 6 figures in 6 months, but I could do how to create a 6-figure side gig income in 12 months starting today, and then use that to send them to a workshop that we charge $117,000 for, or $117,000, $117 for. It's worth $117,000, but $117 for. And here's the thought. So, and y'all let me know what you think. But I'm thinking, okay, eBay, we're going to talk about that. We talk about Amazon. We talk about whatever we decide to talk about and give insights and perspectives and experiences. And this is what to do. And these are your best tools. And this is your best resource. And this is who you need to follow and all that kind of stuff for people that are in certain niches or thinking about certain niches. And then I'll do iHub Global at the end. And then what my thought was, for those of you where this makes sense, if you join us tonight, the person that referred you here to this website, this is such a killer idea, I almost hate to even share it with you. I don't know if I should. I'm going to. All right, so we got the ebook. We've got the ebook out there. The ebook blows people away with the quality of the content and the workability of the content. And they like it. And then we invite all the people that have downloaded the ebook to this live workshop. And it's $117 to attend with 100% money back guarantee. No questions asked. And they come to the work. Now, who's going to come to that workshop? Serious people, right? We aren't going to have any tire kickers. There's no freebie seekers for sure. It's the right people. And so I will go through, Dawn and I probably, because she knows a lot about this stuff, a lot more about some of it than I do, because she's on track with a lot of what we do from the technical aspects. Anyway, and so this is the first business model, second, third, fourth. Fourth one is iHub Global. At the end of iHub Global, if you join today, iHub Global, you got two options: $400 deposit, $99 application fee, or $99 application fee, $18 a month. Doesn't matter. But you use the link that the person that sent you here, and you go join today, and then notify them. They'll notify us, and we're automatically going to refund your $117 that you paid for the workshop. That dog will hunt. Think about it. $99 plus $18 for their first month. What's the total there? $117. So they pay $117 for the workshop because they're serious. They may decide, hey, I'm going to do eBay too, or whatever. But they get their first month. They get their application fee in their first month with their iHub Global hotspot paid. And really, we're just refunding them the money that they paid to attend the workshop, which was worth 10 times more than $117 that they invested. Just a thought. Love your feedback. My only other question and concern is I have a lot of people that are expecting me to re-release my Programming Your Minds for Success program in December, which I do every year. If you haven't registered for that, programmingyourmind.com. And I don't want to do these two workshops too close together. So any thoughts about that? Is it too much to do too soon? Guys, I thank you for letting me have the brain dump today. I shared with our team members that one of our team members this morning, this was probably going to be the last podcast of this year. Many of you know that in December, I usually take off. I mean, after December 15th, I like to shut it down. Because we're so busy the last quarter of the year. This year has been, I've never had a year like this with so many things coming together all at the same time. I think it's highly likely that I change the name of this podcast. I'm not certain yet. I'm really not certain yet. But I think it might be highly likely that I get more into side gig income type of opportunities. I mean, I was, there's so many unique things out there that people can do just to start creating cash flow. And I like sharing with people, those ideas, because I just want to get them in the entrepreneurial game. I mean, down the road, they'll ask, was this really scale? Am I in the right place at the right time? They'll ask themselves more important questions. But I think as entrepreneurs, we just want to get as many people in the entrepreneurial game as we can and support them the best way we can. I mean, really, and there's some fascinating business models out there that when I was 18 or 19 or 20, I mean, I would have been all over it. I mean, I have no doubt if the internet had been around when I was a teenager, I would have never got out. I would have never graduated high school because I would have been making money, but way before any of that with eBay or whatever, way before I got around to trying to graduate high school. And I never had any clear direction or purpose to feel like I needed to go to college anyway. I ended up going to business school, but that was not, that was a couple years after high school. But anyway, for 25 years, I've been attempting to communicate that you have to say no to a lot of good ideas so you have time for the great ones. And really, for the first time in my life, I'm starting to understand, and maybe it's just because I'm older and hopefully wiser, I'm starting to understand that when a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity lands in your lap, you have to say no, not to a lot of good ideas, but to a lot of great ideas, and don't waste a minute on the good ones. So for years I've said, you have to say no to a lot of good ideas so you have time for the great ones. At this point in my life, I'm feeling like, you know what? When a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity lands in your lap, you have to say no to a lot of great ideas and don't waste 1 minute of time on the good ones. I'm involved in too many businesses that are good ideas and they're profitable. But how do I get away from all those, liquidate all those, and find the time to focus on the once-in-a-lifetime opportunities? And I believe over the next few years, there'll be more and more of those. And believe it or not, most of them are not going to be in the real world. They will be in the metaverse. This is Dale Calvert. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon, probably the first of the year, sometime. I might do another one next week. Who knows? I don't know. If I don't show up, then you had a heads up. But anyway, guys, have an awesome day, night, wherever you are in the world. This has gotten long, I'm sure, because I can tell by my voice. So I may even bust this up into 2 episodes. Regardless, if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, have a phenomenal one. And I'll talk to you soon. This is Dale Calvert. Thanks for being with me.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.